There is a strange phenomenon happening in our world today. More and more people who are thoughtful, intelligent, observant, and emotionally deep, are finding themselves with fewer or no friends. Not because they are unlikable. Not because they are socially incapable. But because they carry rare psychological traits that most people don't understand. And as you listen to this, you might feel an uncomfortable curiosity rising inside you. Because somewhere in your mind, a simple question begins forming: if so many friendless people share the same traits, does that mean something about you too? Let me tell you something: loneliness is rarely random. There is always a pattern. A truth. A psychology behind why some people walk alone. And today, we are going to uncover that hidden psychology. The 5 rare traits that people with few or no friends almost always share. These traits will explain why people leave. Why friendships fade. Why you often feel unseen. Why your soul feels out of place in crowded spaces. Listen closely, because this might be the first time in your life someone actually names what you've been feeling all along. The first rare trait is this: people with few friends see through others too quickly and too accurately. When most people meet someone, they see the surface. A smile. A personality. A bit of charm. But you? You see the truth behind it. You sense jealousy before it shows. You detect manipulation before it begins. You feel dishonesty behind a kind tone. You notice the insecurity people try to hide. You watch their eyes, their pauses, their micro-reactions, the small shifts others completely miss. And once you see someone's real intention, you cannot unsee it. This is not a weakness. It is a psychological strength, high social perceptiveness. But here's the curse: when you see the truth too fast, you lose interest too fast. You stop trusting too fast. You emotionally detach too fast. And people interpret this as coldness, when in reality, it's clarity. Friendships require time for illusions to collapse. But your intuition collapses illusions instantly. And that is why your circle is small. Not because you are wrong, but because you are right too quickly. The second rare trait: you prefer depth over noise. You hate meaningless conversations. You don't enjoy gossip. You don't care about social trends. You don't bond over drama or entertainment. You want conversations that break open the soul. Conversations about who we are, why we change, how our childhood shaped us, why certain emotions haunt us, how the mind heals, how people love, why they betray, why they distance themselves, why they hide their truth. You crave emotional intimacy, mental depth, psychological honesty. But the world craves distractions, not depth. Most people fear their inner world. You explore yours every day. And because of this, you connect with very few. Not because you're antisocial, but because you are anti-shallow. The third rare trait. Your emotional standards are high, but your emotional tolerance is low. People can't play games with you. You feel manipulation immediately. You sense passive aggression without any words. You can tell when someone's motives don't match their actions. And you walk away fast. Too fast for some. But you walk away because you have learned something most people never learn: peace is more important than people who disturb it. You would rather be alone than emotionally drained. Rather isolated than surrounded by inconsistency. Rather quiet than forced to tolerate disrespect. Your standards are not unrealistic. They are simply sacred. You do not want friends who are careless with your emotions. You do not want people who disappear when you're hurting. You do not want temporary loyalty. You want honesty. Certainty. Depth. Presence. Consistency. And these qualities are rare. So naturally, your friendships are rare too. The fourth trait: you have a rich inner world, richer than most friendships could ever match. When you're alone, you are not empty. In fact, you are the opposite. Your imagination is powerful. Your thoughts are deep. Your inner conversations are meaningful. You reflect more in 1 hour than most people reflect in a year. You analyze emotions, motives, patterns. You explore ideas, stories, possibilities. Your solitude is a kingdom, alive, vivid, expressive. And because of this, you don't need constant social stimulation. You don't need to be around people to feel whole. You don't seek validation. You don't chase attention. You don't rely on others to feel alive. Your inner world sustains you. But here's the paradox: the richer your mind becomes, the more disappointing normal interactions feel. Ordinary conversations bore you. Shallow people exhaust you. Loud social environments drain you. So you withdraw, not out of weakness, but out of preference. You belong to yourself first. And now, we reach the fifth rare trait: you feel emotions at a depth that overwhelms shallow people. You feel intensely. You think intensely. You love intensely. You understand intensely. You experience life with more awareness, more sensitivity, more intuition, more honesty. But the world is not designed for emotional depth. The world is designed for emotional convenience. So when someone like you shows up, someone who feels deeply, speaks honestly, understands intuitively, people struggle. They call you too sensitive, too intense, too serious, too emotional, too deep. But what they truly mean is, your depth makes me confront parts of myself I avoid. You are not too much. They are simply too little. Your emotional presence exposes their emotional absence. Your awareness highlights their denial. Your honesty threatens their comfort. So they pull away. Not because you are unworthy, but because you are a mirror they're not ready to look into. And now, we enter the climax of this story. The burning questions that stay awake with you at night. The questions that sit quietly behind your loneliness. The questions you've never said out loud. If all of this is true, then what does it mean about you? Are you alone because you are broken, or because you are rare? Are people leaving you, or are they being filtered out? Is your solitude a curse, or is it protection? Are you meant to walk alone, or are you simply waiting for connections that can meet your depth? Are you friendless, or are you evolving beyond superficial relationships? Are you emotionally isolated, or emotionally advanced? These questions burn because they reveal something you've always felt but never understood: you are not living the wrong life. You are living a rare one. People with these 5 traits are not meant for crowds. They are not meant for social popularity. They are not meant to be everyone's friend. They are meant for meaningful connections, not many connections. Rare connections, not frequent ones. They walk alone not because they have no value, but because their value cannot be shared with just anyone. If you saw yourself in these traits, understand this: your solitude is not a flaw. Your loneliness is not a failure. Your silence is not a weakness. You are not behind in life. You are not socially broken. You are simply operating at a depth that most people can't reach. You feel more. You see more. You understand more. You require more. And that makes you different. But different is not a disadvantage. It is a signature. A mark of depth. A mark of honesty. A mark of emotional intelligence. And someday, you will meet someone who sees your depth as beauty, not burden. Someone who understands your silence. Someone who respects your inner world. Someone who matches your emotional intensity. Someone who values your loyalty. Someone who doesn't get tired of your honesty. Someone who makes you feel less alone in a world that never understood you. Until then, walk your path without apology. Because some souls walk alone, not because they're empty, but because they're overflowing. Not because they lack friends, but because they refuse false ones. Not because they are lost, but because they are becoming. And becoming is a journey you're meant to take with courage, with clarity, and sometimes, with no one beside you except yourself.